a company who's small and only has one rig they're doing can probably do it in a spreadsheet just fine. But once you get past 2 rigs, things get way too complicated. You got too many things that are going on at one time to track them very closely. They showed me what they were using for their rig scheduling, which was just simply an Excel spreadsheet to track 15 drilling rigs and 10 completion crews. They were just overwhelmed with this. There's just so many things to get done. It's hard to know what's not done.
Right.
So with this, there's a readiness report that shows you land is in progress but not done. AFE hasn't even been started yet. They had a full-time person. That's all that person did was maintain that one spreadsheet. So because you're going to have to copy and paste and move things with the spreadsheet were very, very difficult to do.
And then it might happen again tomorrow because another change.
Exactly.
Bob Baldwin is a petroleum operations engineer and data architect who has co-developed 2 industry-leading data management platforms. Now he runs a company building out transportation infrastructure for compressed natural gas. Today, we talk with Bob about his rig scheduling software that streamlines in-the-field complexities. Welcome to Wisdom at the Wellhead.
Welcome to another episode of Wisdom at the Wellhead. I'm Kevin Fisher with Total Stream Systems. I have my co-host Jeff Dyke with me, and we have a special thing for you today. We've got one of our good buddies, one of Jeff's business partners throughout the years, Bob Baldwin.
Glad to be here.
So, gentlemen, tell me how your guys' story started.
I'll start.
Okay.
I decided to go to Montana Tech, and honestly, I'd been thinking about starting a Bible study there for a long time, going up. So I get on campus, and I'm wearing this Clyger's Christian shirt, ranch shirt, that was from a Christian camp that I used to go to. And one of the first people I met was Bob Baldwin.
Yeah, we were standing in the cafeteria line, and you were ahead of me, and I read your shirt, and I tapped you on the shoulder, said, "We need to start some Bible studies." You said, "Yes, we do."
Yes, we do. And it was just, and that was the beginning of a 45-year-long friendship.
Yeah, almost longer than that, I think, almost. Yeah. Been a while.
So yeah, that's how we got started as friends, and we played on the same basketball team for a year or two.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. I got to watch Bob rack up the stats, and I kept them.
Except for two
that I had.
Yeah, two for two.
Mine were probably the most consequential in the history of Montana Tech.
I'm sure they were.
You know, we won't talk about that.
So after college, what your friendship at that point didn't end, obviously, where we're at today.
Yeah,
what was the next step that happened after college? Did you guys go your own ways?
Jeff went on to, I think, some more school. Well, you went down to Wichita, I think, for a while, right?
Well, I went to Multnomah for where I met this beautiful lady.
Yeah, and then
married her.
Yeah, and then you went to Wichita, right? And then I was in North Dakota for a while, and then started writing software to take care of some of my engineering needs. And then I started writing software for a lot of other things. And then finally, you and I got together and said, let's make some oil and gas software.
Right, right.
So what was the name of that software that you guys worked on together?
Production Access.
Production Access, yeah.
Production Access.
Back in 1996, we started that.
We started that and had 0 clients and an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
We spent a lot of time in motels where we just isolated ourselves and just started writing it.
Yeah.
And spent many, many hours getting it going.
And the motels, because we were out at customer sites getting insights of what made sense for them.
Right.
Which is always an important part of software, is listening to your customer.
Right.
You know, and then reacting to their need.
Yeah.
And building a platform that you can do that. So, yeah, a lot of years in that.
Yes, it was.
Yep. So, as we traveled on, we spent a lot of years at Production Access.
We did.
Working together. Probably
we did.
12,
We had
10,
significant clients.
Yeah, a lot of clients.
Yeah, you guys had a pretty good threshhold on the market there for quite a while.
Why don't you talk about some of the clients we had?
So we had Energen, we had Denbury Resources.
The Hunt companies?
We had Hunt Petroleum. Petra Hunt.
And Petra Hunt as well. Hunt Petroleum as well.
And we had, I think at one point, we had about 15% of the wells in the United States in our system.
Wow.
Right.
So
That's amazing.
It covered a lot of companies, and some of them were very large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty
They had
amazing.
Equitable out east. They had 20,000 wells.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a fun venue. What was your takeaway from that time at Production Access that was probably the biggest lesson learned for you?
I think that probably that customer service is one of the more key things to make sure you take care of, or else they're not going to stick with you. You have to be listening to what they say. We had so many changes that we made to our software just because a customer asked for it.
Right.
We thought it was this way, and they said, well, no, it really needs to be this way. Well, okay. Some of the changes were painful.
Yeah.
We had to go through, but
When the technology was different, we had to upgrade everybody at every site.
Right.
As compared to today, we got it all hosted, and you make one quick switch.
Exactly.
And
Upgrades were
and
difficult.
everything's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's quite a change, and technology's that way a little bit.
For sure.
You've got to always be adapting to the changes and the advances, and they're happening rapidly.
Yep.
And with AI coming on, there's going to even be more rapid changes.
Yeah.
And you've got to listen to that customer, but you've also got to stay up with technology.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you become outdated.
The tougher thing was to accommodate all our clients, because some people liked it one way versus another.
Yeah.
And if you make a change, you might make another customer mad. So we had to make sure that we didn't make one customer upset because we upgraded to a different methodology. So
Right.
had to be flexible.
Right.
Yeah, so Production Access, at some point, it was retired and sold off to Petrus, and then we all know the story after that. That's kind of where I came into your life, Bob, or
Yeah.
RKI, when we were getting us started with
Right.
Total Stream at first, when they were first starting off. What have you been doing since the times that, 15 years ago when I first met you and you were still involved? I know you got some projects going.
Yeah, so I started to become very concerned about our country in our energy independence, because we were, at that time, importing 65% of our oil.
Yeah.
That has changed a lot since then. But at that point, I was really concerned about how are my kids going to make it, because it looked like we were still going that direction, even worse. And so I heard about the Pickens plan and about converting a lot of our vehicles and trucks over to natural gas. And I said, can't be that hard to build a compressed natural gas filling station. So I went out and built one.
Oh, great.
And it was a lot harder than
And it
I
was
thought.
harder than you thought.
It always
A lot harder.
And isn't that the truth whenever you start on any venture?
Yeah.
Oh, we can go build some software.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, what I've learned is that every project just about takes twice as long as you expected and costs twice as much.
Right.
So it's been a learning adventure doing that as well. So, but I've got 4 of them now, and I got 2 more that are being built. So I'm still pretty active in that. But at the same time, I'm working with the rig schedule, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, here pretty soon. But I still convinced that we need to become energy independent as much as we can. We're still not. We were for a while.
Yeah.
We were energy independent for a while, but over the last few years, we've become dependent again. So, but we've made a long stride forward with the new fracking technology, and all of that has allowed us to almost never have a dry well.
Horizontal wells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shell plays.
Yeah.
So you mentioned it there. So you do actually, you still work with Total Stream on several projects. And
Right.
Tell me a little bit about rig scheduler and operation scheduler, how that kind of came about.
Yeah. So I was doing some work for Energy Resources out of Birmingham, Alabama, and doing a lot of data interchanges that they needed. And they showed me what they were using for their rig scheduling, which was just simply an Excel spreadsheet to track 15 drilling rigs and 10 completion crews. And they were just overwhelmed with this. They had a full-time person. That's all that person did was maintain that one spreadsheet.
Yeah,
full-time.
One little change is an entire day's work.
Yes. So because you're going to have to copy and paste and move things with the spreadsheet were very, very difficult to do.
And then it might happen again tomorrow because another change.
Exactly.
That's the whole thing.
So they would have a drilling meeting every week that was all surrounded around what does that schedule look like and what changes does she have to make to keep the schedule up and get
who
it
has
published.
the official copy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I looked at that and said, guys, can I take a whack at that? So I started researching how I might make it better, easier, more functional. And the first look at it, they said, wow, okay, yeah, that's a lot better than what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Now, it was very early in the stage and it didn't have much functionality, but they could see that being able to change your schedule just by dragging and dropping what we call a time bar onto a different location or a different rig or a different time was so much easier.
Yeah.
And so that's how it got started with Energen Resources.
You know, the thing that intrigues me about a rig schedule is it ties closely to your financial outlook for what your capital requirements are going to be based on the schedule of what you're going to drill and the costs of all that. How does that come into your rig schedule? Do you keep track of the financial side of it?
Yeah,
where you can
partially.
adjust?
Yeah, partially. We keep track of the full AFE amount that is associated with that particular schedule, and as that AFE amount gets changed in time, we can monitor what your burn rate is for your entire company and your drilling schedule or your completion schedule. So if you are, let's say you're going through way too much money and your CFO says, guys, you need to slow it down a little bit, we can very quickly rearrange the schedule to where you're doing 5 rigs instead of 8.
Right.
And then your burn rate is much less. It just takes longer to accomplish what you're doing. Or you may say, hey, we have a lot more money. Let's go ahead and hire 3 more rigs. And then we can just simply drag those time bars down onto 3 new rigs and very quickly get them scheduled as well.
Right.
And within that time bar, it's got a dollar figure. And you're going to spend that dollar figure over a certain time period.
Right.
And therefore, you can see how much you're going to spend in whatever month you're going to monitor across all your wells or across all your completions.
So you say that you know there's multiple time bars and you can see if you move things around. Are you changing the master schedule around just to try to fit your needs, and then you got to get it back to like it is?
So that's a good question. We have what we call scenarios where you can create a scenario. So you don't want to touch the master schedule until everybody agrees to it, so you have to run it by everybody. And so you can create a scenario, run it by everybody and say, okay, does this look like a good scenario for us to move into our master schedule? And then you just run a command, it archives the other master schedule and makes that new scenario the new master schedule.
So it's very flexible to what happens in a lot of companies that are active at all, a very changing environment.
Yeah.
And be able to react to capital requirements, work requirements, permit requirements, all those types of things. So you actually track tasks, I understand, that lead to the readiness of a well to drill.
So that's probably one of the toughest things with a rig schedule. A company who's small and only has 1 rig they're doing can probably do it in a spreadsheet just fine. But once you get past 2 rigs, things get way too complicated. You got too many things that are going on at one time to track them very closely. So, I mean, you have to get the permit just to drill. You have to get the site location ready. You have to get the AFE approved. You have to get the land. And if you don't have permission to drill because your land is not signed, you're in trouble. And all those things have to align before you even put it into current drill mode.
Drill status,
Yeah.
Right.
So,
but every company has a little bit different list of things that need to be done. Does the software allow you to choose what those readiness flags are?
We can change what those readiness flags are. We've got 6 that are standard things that you can do, but we also have the ability to track specific tasks that need to be done for each time bar as well. So if you want to, and you can create whatever list of tasks that you want to get done. So there's just so many things to get done. It's hard to know what's not done.
Right.
So with this, there's a readiness report that shows you land is in progress but not done. AFE hasn't even been started yet.
You can make notations on it.
Yeah, exactly.
And give a reason why it's not ready.
Right.
So it can be attacked and done.
Yeah.
So I know we keep saying that we keep calling it a rig schedule. Is rigs all that you can kind of schedule in this software, or is it?
No, it's very, very flexible. You can schedule any kind of what we call teams.
Okay.
A rig is a team.
Right.
Okay. A workover rig is a team, or a pipeline crew, or a facility crew can be a team. So you can schedule all those things, and it's up to the user what types of teams they want to create. Most everybody does drilling, completion, and workovers.
Right.
Okay. That's the kind of the main crux of it all. But
Yeah.
with this allows you to add more if you want, and you can put a lot of different color codes on things too. So each time bar has a color based upon what type of job it is.
Okay.
Right.
So if it's a spud or a completion or a production drilling, you can go ahead and put different colors on each one of those so you can kind of tell what's going on with just looking at the colors.
So I know just in my career where this has kind of been an issue, especially since sometimes drilling doesn't speak to completions as often as they should. And is there any type of fail safe in there to make sure that we don't put like a completions project ahead of when this well is going to be drilled?
Yeah, we specifically put one in there that if you are trying to complete a well, you're scheduling a well to be completed, but it hasn't been drilled yet, it turns that time bar red. So
as little as that sounds, I mean, I think it happens a lot in a lot of organizations.
Especially in a very busy company.
Yeah. I think that's great.
Yeah.
So you've knocked the wind out of disorganization in rig scheduling.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, one of the things that's pretty nifty is that if a rig is delayed, maybe there's some rig repair that needs to be done, or maybe you had a blowout or something. You hate to have that to happen, right? But that's going to slow down that schedule, right?
Right.
So that particular time bar can be extended, and it automatically moves all
Everything
the rigs,
else out the line.
the time bars on that,
Right.
further out in the schedule.
That's a big time.
Well, it
saver.
seems to me that when you have things organized in a schedule like you do, you organize your people to be on time and in sync.
Yeah.
You organize your priority wells to be on time and in sync.
Yeah.
And you can therefore, from that, organize your capital to be anticipated properly.
Well, and to speak
what's
to
coming
that,
up and required.
one of the problems that Energen had was that the drilling team didn't have time, or were not able to actually get together with the completion team and talk.
Right.
Here's what's going on. Here's when we're drilling this rig, or drilling this well, and this is when they're planning to complete it. So this allows them to see it. It becomes visible to everybody,
Right.
because the whole schedule for completion and drilling is in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Upstream Systems delivers end-to-end operational intelligence for the oil and gas industry. Our platform unifies production, asset, and financial data into one intuitive interface so operators can make faster, smarter decisions. From real-time monitoring to automated reporting, we help companies optimize production, reduce costs, and improve compliance without adding complexity. In short, we turn your operational data into actionable insights that drive performance and profitability. If you're interested in learning more about TotalStream Systems, come check us out at totalstream.com, or you can connect with us on LinkedIn. We'd love to chat with you and learn more about your organization.
You integrate with TAM, and one of the things that I was interested in is you create what's called a bucket list.
Right.
Tell me about the bucket list.
Okay.
I mean, we all have bucket lists, but you
Yeah.
have a special bucket list.
Yeah, we call it a bullpen, actually.
A bullpen.
A bullpen,
Okay.
right. So these are the wells that you plan on drilling or completing, but are not on the schedule yet. And so you can take and click a button, and it shows you all the wells that are in your bullpen. And then you can just simply drag and drop that well onto the schedule, and it automatically moves everything to the side
Right.
to be on the schedule. So it allows you to make sure you're not forgetting things as well, especially in the workover area, because you end up with a lot of workovers that start getting backlogged, and you want to be able to choose the wells that you should get the most highest gain from, right? So you can sort the bullpen by how many barrels of oil per day, that equivalent that you're losing.
And that can come out of your source of origin.
Yes.
Like in the case with us, it comes out of TAM,
Right.
which is a direct result of the production system they use.
Right.
And so you know it's real.
Right. Yeah.
You know it's up to date.
Yeah, so all the wells that one of the problems that we had early on, it was with disparate systems. Each system named a well something different,
Yeah.
right? And with our system, that it's all consistent because we have one source of truth,
Yes.
which is TAM, Total Stream, for the source of the wells. Now, my system actually runs independently of Total Stream, but we like it to work together because of because of the advantages of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially like on the projects as they're going, we can actually view what day it is on that project and how many dollars you've spent that are recorded in Total Stream. We pull that data over and show it in the rig scheduler.
Now, I remember a time when we were demoing this to Ring Energy.
Yeah.
Do you remember the response that their manager had
Yeah.
when he saw your rig scheduler?
Yeah.
This is kind of fun piece of history.
Yeah. He got up and started dancing.
He said, "I want to just take my shirt off and dance."
Yeah.
that was
a fun demo.
That was a fun app, but it really reflected the pain that people go through on schedule.
Exactly right.
And he saw something that completely eliminated it, therefore remove the shirt and dance.
Right.
So in your software in operations scheduler, is there any like automated reporting that goes out? Can you make sure that schedule goes out so somebody doesn't have to print them all off every day? Is there any reporting services inside?
Yeah.
that?
So there's multiple reports that we can automatically put out on a daily basis, and we put them out in a PDF format so that nobody has to open the software at all. And we have email lists that we can establish within the software and a timing schedule that we can put out for the schedule to put out these reports. There's a workover list that actually includes what's in the bullpen so they know what's not being worked on yet, right? And then usually the drilling completion is done together as a complete report showing all the time bars from both of those schedules.
Okay.
And then it's just done looking like just exactly like what this time bars look like, except it's large. It can be a year long worth.
Yeah.
And it may look small when you get it in the PDF, but you can zoom right in and see everything very clearly.
It kind of depends on how far you have your programs taken out. So
Yeah.
So what do you see as the challenges that still exist in the schedule that in your product? Do you have a roadmap for where you want to go with it? Is there further development? Tell me some of the improvements that have been made through, like we said, customer suggestion.
Right. Yeah. So one of the things that we did is that we actually included Google Maps in it that show you where the wells are located.
Yeah.
So, and if you choose a particular rig, it will show you the mapped route that rig's going to go through for the first 5 wells.
So then you're not going right by a location to do it.
So you can maybe be more efficient in your movement of that rig. Rather than moving it 50 miles down the road, you can move 5 miles down the road and catch this well and then go 50 miles down the road.
Yeah, that's great.
And would you say this is a true statement that if you're not organizing and scheduling your schedules on workovers or drilling, you're probably losing money?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You want to have a good plan set out there and have it be clear. Right. And it helps both the financial side and the operations side because they know where they need to go. They know what's coming up. And the financial side knows how much they're going to spend because they can see it all right there.
Right. And, in wrapping some of this stuff up, do you have a link that we can provide in this where people can go out and look at a sample of your rig schedule? Because I think it's a game changer for many companies and they just don't realize there's not much technology out there that does this.
Right. Yeah. So I do have a YouTube video that's a 5-minute demo, real simple to look at. And I go through almost all the features in the software there. It's very quick, very simple.
Right.
So,
and of course, you can contact Kevin or myself because we represent your product through Total Stream.
Right. Exactly.
And we can put the whole picture together.
But the best way is just to get a quick 10-minute demo. It doesn't take long to demo this because it's so easy to use.
Right.
It would take something very complex, made it simple.
And I'll just make the comment that when you watch this video, please don't take your shirt off and dance.
Well, maybe if you're by yourself.
Maybe you're by yourself, it's okay.
What you do in the confines of your own home is your own thing.
Yeah. But
so, guys, I think I've known you guys both for about 15 years, and I think your friendship's an amazing thing. And I think the work you've done together for Total Stream and for Rig Scheduler, and even in your past, is amazing. But I want to thank you both for being on today and talking about both our products and the future of where they're going.
And Bob owes me $5.
Oh, well, he's going to have to probably get that from you later.
Depends on who you talk to.
Okay.
We'll maybe have to talk about that off air.
Yeah, we might have to talk that off air. But.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us today at Wisdom at the Wellhead. I'm Kevin Fisher. Please take a moment and join all of our social media sites. Take a minute to go to YouTube and look up that operations schedule. You'll be really surprised. We look forward to seeing you on another episode of Wisdom at the Wellhead.